Japan Airlines Flight 1628 Heavy, Anchorage approach. We have traffic in front of us. We cannot identify, but very big. It's 1986 over Alaska, and Captain Kenju Terachi described an object several times larger than his Boeing 747. The pilot was open about being afraid during this encounter, but the Japan Airlines incident was hardly unique. Fast forward to 2025, and commercial pilots are reporting UAP encounters at rates that dwarf historical cases. The latest Pentagon data shows a 160% increase in aviation-related UAP incidents since 2020. What these pilots are seeing defies conventional explanation, and aviation authorities are finally admitting we have a serious problem in our skies. These modern encounters are happening with disturbing frequency across major commercial flight routes. The new wave of encounters. Delta Flight 1947 requests immediate clearance to deviate course. We have an unidentified object at our altitude. This transmission from February 2025 captures the moment Captain Rodriguez encountered what the FAA now classifies as an unauthorized airspace incursion. The Delta Boeing 737 was cruising over Nevada when a metallic grayish disk, approximately 30 to 40 feet in diameter, appeared hovering at 1,000 feet before streaking away at impossible speeds. The object paced their aircraft for 12 minutes, demonstrating flight characteristics that violated everything known about aerodynamics. Captain Rodriguez described the disk as completely silent, with no visible propulsion system. The most unsettling aspect was how it seemed to study their aircraft, moving closer to examine the wing configuration before repositioning near the cockpit windows. Air traffic control tracked the object on primary radar but could not establish communication or identify its origin. The encounter lasted 23 minutes total, during which time the object demonstrated maneuvers that defied conventional physics. This Nevada encounter represents one piece of a much larger pattern emerging across commercial aviation. The FAA now receives over 100 reports of unmanned aircraft sightings near airports each month in early 2025, suggesting over 1,200 monthly incidents. This surge connects with the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office's documentation of 757 UAP reports between May 2023 and June 2024, indicating these encounters are becoming routine operational challenges rather than isolated anomalies. Aviation safety analysts have identified clear hotspots where UAP encounters cluster around major commercial flight paths. The Denver to Phoenix corridor experiences the highest concentration of incidents, with pilots reporting objects that pace aircraft along this route almost weekly. Transatlantic flights near Iceland face similar encounters, particularly on the polar routes used by flights between North America and Europe. The pattern extends to domestic routes over the Great Lakes region and international flights approaching the Pacific Northwest. Captain Jennifer Walsh flies the Denver-Phoenix route twice weekly for Southwest Airlines. She's encountered unidentified objects on 4 separate occasions since October 2024, each time during cruise flight at altitudes between 33,000 and 37,000 feet. Walsh describes craft that demonstrate awareness of her aircraft's presence, adjusting their position when she changes altitude or heading. On one flight, an object followed her Boeing 737 for over 40 minutes, maintaining a consistent distance of approximately 500 feet off the port wing. The objects don't behave like conventional aircraft or natural phenomena. Pilots report craft that accelerate from stationary positions to speeds exceeding Mach 2 within seconds, with no sonic boom or visible propulsion. These objects execute 90-degree turns at high speeds without losing altitude or showing signs of structural stress. They appear and disappear from radar screens without following predictable flight paths or radio protocols. First Officer David Chen documented his encounter over Lake Superior in November 2024 while co-piloting an American Airlines flight from Detroit to Seattle. The object approached from below their aircraft, rising through multiple flight levels before matching their speed and altitude. Chen noted that the object seemed to scan their aircraft, moving in a systematic pattern from nose to tail before positioning itself directly above their plane. The encounter lasted 18 minutes and was confirmed by air traffic control radar at Minneapolis Center. Aviation authorities have created a new classification system for these incidents called Airspace Intrusion events. Unlike traditional aircraft violations or weather phenomena, these events involve objects that demonstrate advanced flight capabilities while showing apparent interest in commercial aircraft operations. The classification system tracks duration of contact, object behavior patterns, and impact on flight operations. Analysis of flight data reveals that these objects specifically target high-traffic commercial routes rather than appearing randomly across airspace. Routes with heavy passenger traffic experience significantly more encounters than cargo routes or private aviation corridors. The objects appear most frequently during peak travel hours and along established airways used by multiple airlines daily. The psychological impact on flight crews has become a serious concern for airline management. Pilots who experience these encounters report increased stress levels and hypervigilance during subsequent flights. Some crew members request route changes to avoid areas where they've had previous UAP encounters. The incidents affect pilot decision-making, with some choosing to alter altitudes or headings when they spot unidentified objects, even at significant fuel cost. Major airlines have quietly implemented new reporting protocols specifically designed for UAP encounters. These protocols require immediate notification to company operations centers and detailed written reports within 24 hours. The reports include specific data points about object appearance, behavior, duration of contact, and impact on flight operations. Airlines are also requiring pilots to submit separate reports to government authorities through newly established channels. Delta Airlines created an internal UAP incident response team in late 2024, staffed by experienced pilots and safety specialists. The team reviews every reported encounter and maintains a database of incidents across the airline's route network. American Airlines implemented similar protocols after experiencing a surge in pilot-reported UAP encounters during 2024. The shift in airline attitude represents a complete reversal from previous decades when pilots faced career consequences for reporting unusual aerial encounters. Airlines now treat these reports as legitimate safety concerns requiring investigation and documentation. Flight operations departments track UAP incidents like bird strikes or weather hazards, incorporating them into risk assessment procedures. The frequency and consistency of these encounters has forced aviation authorities to acknowledge that commercial flight crews are documenting a real phenomenon that poses genuine questions about airspace security and flight safety. The sheer volume of reports has overwhelmed traditional investigation methods, prompting government agencies to dramatically expand their response capabilities. Inside the Pentagon's expanded investigation, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office now operates as a comprehensive multi-agency task force, established under the 2022 National Defense Authorization Act with a mandate to report directly to Congress. AARO coordinates efforts across key government partners including the Department of Defense, Federal Aviation Administration, NASA's UAP study team, and FBI incident investigations. This represents a complete transformation from the Pentagon's previous approach of dismissing these encounters entirely. The office manages an expanding caseload of reports from current and former government officials, with plans to eventually accept reports from the general public. Pentagon officials are actively seeking a secure, software-based platform to manage UAP investigations through the Joint Worldwide Intelligence Communications System, which hosts the Defense Department's most sensitive classified information. This custom case management system will track investigation status and meet records management requirements as the office prepares to launch public UAP reporting mechanisms. Several